to Minced. It's the high school version of the hit show Chopped on the Food Network. Hi everyone, I'm Kelly Hydebrader, your host. We take 4 of our students here at the Lenawee Intermediate School District Culinary Program and we put them to the test.
That looks like complete throw.
They have to take these ingredients and make some unforgettable dishes to win over this panel of judges, or they will be minced. Our first student chef is Corey Marion, a junior at Madison High School, and she is bringing her A game to Minced. She's a tough tomboy, that girl next door, but this girl has her own set of chef knives, and she knows how to use them in this kitchen. She says she can run rings around these guys.
Come from a Southern family where everything's all about dinner. I feel like in a social way, I'm gonna do very good with the other opponents and whatnot, but when it comes down to cooking, I'm gonna be in my own world and do everything how I would if I was alone. Dean is extremely egotistical. He thinks he is the greatest thing to walk the earth. Anthony, another egotistical figure in the culinary arts room. Kind of worried about him being competition. Gonna give it all I got, whip out some secret skills nobody's ever seen from me before, bring out that Southern charm in my food.
Chef number 2, Dean Hackett. He's a junior at Tecumseh High School, and he is bringing his artistic talent to the table. This is his first year in the culinary arts program, and he knows his way around the pantry, and he's ready to whip up his best.
I always wanted to be a cook when I was younger. I always liked to create things. I've always been into art. I like to, talk a lot. I like to jump around. I'm very, in the moment. Anthony, I don't know anything about him.
How's he cook?
Probably poorly. I don't really usually see him around the kitchen because I'm too focused about doing my own thing. Corey, she's really good, but I don't think she's as good as me. I've worked with her, and when things get really stressful, she tends to stress out, and I try to keep it cool and collective. I'm gonna try my absolute hardest. I'm going to destroy my competitors.
I'm back again.
Why?
Our third chef, Anthony Del Rosario. This is his second time up against the Minced clock. And last time, he was known as the accident-prone chef, and he didn't disappoint. He cut his finger, but he kept plugging along. Can he get his redemption in this Minced kitchen?
See, I had a successful time, opened up my own restaurant, and now I'm coming back to make sure I actually win it. Last year, I joined Minced, and I succeeded the first round, no doubt, but I think I should have won the second round, but I didn't.
Chef Anthony, you have been minced.
My lobster was overcooked, but it was totally unfair. I'm telling you, these kids were second years. Well, one of them was. I honestly don't like cooking, but I like decorating the plates. I like the fun of it, the adrenaline. It's just so, it has to be on point. Corey, all I know is she goes to my school. Haven't seen a lot of her in the cooking class. All I know is I did an event with her. She was kind of a noob. Well, Dean, I see him, he does a lot of dishes. Haven't seen him really cook, but the one time I did, I don't think he knew what he was doing.
Evan Norton, second year student in PM. Do you even know who he is?
Not really.
No, I have no idea.
Do you know anything about Evan?
Nope, I don't think so.
Finally, our fourth chef, senior Evan Norton from Wildcat Country in Onstead. He may not be on time, but we expect Evan to bring his big size and his big bright personality to his cooking. Can this lady killer kill it in the kitchen?
What I like about cooking is you get to eat what you cook. You can show your creativity without, you can express yourself without saying anything. Everything else doesn't matter. You've got an assignment, you gotta make this. Now, you can make it like the recipe tells you to, or you can make it and put your own twist on it. Later down the road, when I get out of college, culinary school, hopefully, I'm gonna join a restaurant or work for a restaurant. I don't wanna open my own right away. But once I get experience, then hopefully open up my own. Anthony, I don't know who that is. Corey, who's that? Dean? Sounds like a made-up name.
How are you gonna win this competition?
I'm gonna outsmart everybody else in the kitchen. I've got recipes in my head, I've got backup plans, I'm gonna improvise and I'm gonna win.
There are 3 rounds: appetizer, entree, and dessert. Each course has its basket of mystery ingredients, and you must use every ingredient in the basket in some way. Also available to you are our pantry and fridge. Each round is timed, and when we are done, the judges will critique all of your dishes, and if you don't make the cut, you will be minced.
I'm way better than last year.
Chefs, open your first basket. Your first basket will include ground beef, dried apricots, oyster crackers, almond butter, chipotle salsa, and dill pickle spears.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
We've got 20 minutes on the clock. Chefs, your time starts now.
Come on, y'all!
I was very hesitant on what we had. Just getting thrown ingredients, having to do something with it was very kind of stressful almost. I made a meatball with oyster crackers and cut some onion in it with it, and I plated that with the salsa and other ingredients that they gave us. So I made sort of a sweet, spicy sauce on top.
Oh no! Cheese down in the pantry!
I went to grab the blender and the cheese came with me, and I was like, I'm just leaving it.
The second I saw the ground beef, I knew like this was gonna be difficult. Really, I didn't know where to start from there, but I knew that either way I just had to start cooking it up in the pan. So I was waiting for my pan to heat up, and I decided to do a burger dip with green peppers, cheddar cheese with the chipotle sauce in it to flavor, and then I was going to originally wrap my pickles in the burger, but I didn't really think that would incorporate well because some people don't like pickles. And then with the almond butter, I originally thought that was peanut butter, and I was gonna make it a fruit dip with the apricots to dip in. So I got oats, almond butter, brown sugar, and I mixed it all together.
While we're into the first round, let's introduce our judges. We have Bonita Gaitan. Bonita, you are a home chef extraordinaire. Tell me a little bit about what you're expecting today.
Maybe I can learn a few things. I'm not sure where the home chef extraordinaire came from, but maybe I can pick up a few tips here.
But you're ready for some great plates to come your way from these high school students, right?
Absolutely, they have what it takes.
And we have Evan Street Station's chef, Laurent DeBorg, with us, and very great to have you here. Matter of fact, you have one of the chefs online right now, and our competition works for you.
Yes, it does. It does. It's working for me, so I'm trying to see what it can do today.
Which chef works for you?
Anthony.
Okay. So, Chef, these are high school students that are going through the Culinary Program Summit's their first year. What are you expecting to see?
You know, I would like to see them, actually come up with what they think, could be like a good flavor, not only a
good combination or a pretty dish, but something like good flavor that matches.
Yeah,
okay.
that matches, having like a lot of
creatively thinking outside the box. I gotcha. We have one more person on our judging panel right now, Carson Lusloff, former winner of our Minced competition. Carson, what are they thinking about right now? First basket is open, all 4 of them out there competing against each other.
Right now, they're probably thinking about just how they're gonna get this plate done. They're gonna think about how to incorporate every single ingredient in the basket into this dish, and just making sure that it's done on time and done well.
I got the basket, opened it up, and I was like, what the heck is this? There was like some ground meat. So the first thing I was thinking about, I'm like, all right, let's do a meatball. Cooked it up, and it kind of broke apart, so yeah, that meatball idea was gone. I tried doing it in a patty, and then I had the idea maybe if I add everything in, so that like an S&B, they have a peanut butter burger. It's not entirely good, but I didn't know what to do with the almond butter, so I just put it in there. I put the chipotle sauce and other things like garlic. I was like, crap, there's like no color in this plate. It looks like cardboard. I then put, kind of sauteed the pepper together and put it on, and under the patty I put the oyster crackers and the dried apricots. And I sauteed them together, and then kind of used that as a bed for the patty.
When I opened my basket, I was a little bit surprised at what I saw with the ground beef and the pickle and apricot. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. So I spent probably a good minute thinking about what I was gonna make. And my first idea was to make a meatball and put the pickle in the middle. For about 15 minutes, I kept flipping it, it wouldn't cook through. I'm like, you know what, I gotta do something else. So I just mashed the meatball and just made almost like taco meat, like just straight up the ground beef, ditched the pickle. I put garlic in there and the almond butter. I was like, okay, so I'll do kind of like a meat salad type of thing.
5 minutes left on the clock, chefs. So should the meat be finished by now?
Yeah, I think so.
And when these ingredients are just brand new to you in that second, you really only have a few seconds to figure out what you're gonna do, right, Carson?
Yeah. It's really nerve-wracking at first, but as you go through the competition, you start to be able to just focus in on a main item, and then you can go from there.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
Go for a mouthful. Go for the fun.
Oh, go for cake!
Cakes for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes. And it's Gopher cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
2 minutes to go. Be thinking about what is going on that plate. Evan is finally starting to put something on his plate. How's Anthony doing?
I don't know. I can't see it really. It looks like he's chopping some stuff.
I know. I don't see any. Oh, I do see something on his plate.
Time management was an issue. A lot of it, I took like 10 minutes, like, what am I gonna do with this?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, chefs. Woo! Good job, good job.
I was really nervous all the way through. I'm still nervous just because of my plating.
I think I could have done way better. Way better. I think the plate could have been better in general, because I mean, I work at a restaurant.
I was worried about Dean, not because he's better than me, but the fact that we're both at the same technique and skill level in certain ways.
I think Evan's my biggest competitor. His dish, I wouldn't say it looked the best, but it definitely had the right ingredients.
Chefs, you are all at the minced line, and in your first appetizer round, you had to use ground beef, dried apricots, oyster crackers, almond butter, chipotle salsa, and dill pickles. Chef Corey, you're first up. Tell the judges what you made.
It's a family-made dish. It's best with crackers, pork rinds. I like eating it by itself, preferably, and the fruit dip is a lot better with fruit with it, but all there is raisins, again, because time management.
Chef Benita, tell us a little bit about what you think about this dish.
It's very good. I can taste most of the ingredients. I didn't get any of the fruit portion of it. I think it would go great with some tortilla chips or something.
I need another side element to it then?
Yeah, something to dip it with.
Chef, what did you think about the dish?
It's good. It needs a little bit more salt for me here. The pickles didn't make it on my plate, but this I like it. The fruit dip, I think it's creative.
Literally out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Carson.
I think the burger's done well. It has good taste to it. The pickle does help with the salt. And your fruit dip is tastes pretty good. I definitely think it could use more. Maybe loosen it up a little bit with fruit juice or something, like lemon juice or something, just to make it more of a sauce instead of kind of a paste almost.
Chef Dean, what did you make for the judges?
I made an oyster cracker meatball with a pickle and apricot dressing.
All right, let's start with Carson. What is your thought on this dish?
I think it has good flavor. My meatball's a little undercooked though. Normally when I think of a meatball, I think of it being cooked all the way through and just one solid mass of meat. I could have used a little bit more sauce. It was a little dry.
Chef, what did you think?
Well, it was pretty tasty. I like your sauce. I like the meatballs also. Same, could use a little bit more seasoning. On and on, I agree with what he said. You know, you could have used a little bit more sauce, you know, to get it.
Bonita.
I liked it. I would have liked more sauce, mostly just because I liked the flavor of the sauce.
Were you able to taste all of the ingredients in the basket?
I was, and I enjoyed the heat. I like hot things. And the onion was a nice addition, and it tasted like onion, not just felt like a slimy, overcooked thing.
Chef Anthony Del Rosario, second time around. Anthony, tell us what you made for your appetizer round.
Well, for the appetizer, I want to go with a traditional appetizer, so small plates. What you're seeing is a bed of kind of the oyster crackers, and I mixed kind of the dried apricots with it because I wanted kind of a fruity flavor under it. I put some of the chipotle, not a whole bunch, sauce into when I was sauteing it. So as the meat part, I was going for a meatball at first, but then I was like, this isn't working. So I kind of made it into a patty, kind of, you know, but I mixed every single ingredient in it.
Chef Laurent, what do you think?
A nice touch with the rosemary, you know, on the beef. It's pretty good. A little bit dry. The meat is a little bit dry. Your crackers here, you know, it's like a nice touch, I guess.
Chef Anthony is in your kitchen. How do you feel about having to put his plate in front of you and be judged? I'm sure he's a bit nervous here.
Are you? Are you nervous?
Bonita, what did you think?
I thought it was good. I agree the meat's a little bit dry. It was the most aesthetically pleasing plate so far. It was nice to look at. I like the flavor. I like the rosemary.
I'd have to agree with the other two judges. I think the pepper was a nice touch to it, not only for looks, but it gave a little extra in the taste.
And our fourth chef in the line, Chef Evan, tell us a little bit about your dish.
I decided to come up with almost like a meat salad. So you've got the ground beef. I zested the apricot for a garnish and put the almond butter in the saute pan with the beef to cook. And I ran over, got some garlic as well for the saute pan while they were cooking, and the chipotle salsa on top.
Bonita, what did you think of the dish?
I think it's quite good. It's got good texture. The meat's not dry. You kind of get a little sweet, a little salty. It's nice.
You can finish the plate if you want.
No, it's really good. I can taste everything actually.
I would like to actually see like the pickle on the plate.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's very good. Very well done.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling. Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
The odds of becoming a successful NASCAR driver, 1 in 125 billion. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic.
That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. HSF.net.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund breeding.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Definitely relieved, and I definitely have something to prove in the next round.
It's really close, and I hope it's anyone's game.
Chefs, welcome back to the Minced line. One of you is underneath this lid. Who will be minced? Chef Corey, you have been minced.
Chef Corey showed us a lot of creativity, but the thing is like we had missed ingredient on her plates and my plate. That's why we had to mince too.
I should have asked for help with my induction burner before I let it get too far along. Thank you though for everything and saying good things. I'm disappointed with myself and just overall with like how everything turned out. I got a lot of compliments on my appetizer, but I mean presentation's everything in the culinary world.
Chefs, we are on to the entree round. This is your biggest round yet. And let's get to those basket ingredients. Open your baskets. In this basket, you will find pork chops, instant coffee, maple pancake syrup, Tang drink mix, great northern beans, and jalapeno flavored kettle chips. We have 20 minutes on the clock, chefs. Take a good look at those baskets, and that time starts right now.
When I opened up my basket, I saw what was there with the beans and the pork chops, and it threw me off when I saw the drink mix, the fruit like citrus stuff. So I'm like, okay, well maybe I can get a citrus sweet with the maple syrup. So I used the maple syrup for one thing, and then right after it, the next thing they would have put in their mouth was going to be the citrus. So I kind of wanted to change up the palate a little bit like that. Kind of make the tongue work a little bit, get a little bit more flavors in there.
Well, chefs, round two, entree round. It's one of their biggest meal plates that they're going to be making for us today. What would you do with that basket?
Some sort of a crusted pork chop or with the chips.
I think I would go over there. I would use some roasted potatoes, from the pantry. Use some cumin with those kettle chips. Crush them, put a bit of tang, and make a breading.
They definitely haven't been using everything that they could be to accurately compete well.
Now, Bonita, as a home chef like me, I mean, to me, when I have pork chops, I feel like that's an easy thing, but they could stuff them? What about those beans? I mean, what would you do with that, chef?
I used it on a side dish,
Yeah.
Put it in make like a bean or maybe bean and diced potatoes all together.
We got pork chops, and I was like, I instantly know what I'm doing because I've made pork chops before in the past. So I made this glaze that I used to make, which is basically brown sugar and butter. I added the coffee to that, the maple syrup that we got, and that was like gonna be my sauce. I only did 2 pork chops because that's all I could fit on the pan at one time. I was like in a rush sort of, so I only did 2, seared them real fast. Stuck that in the oven. There was beans, and I had no idea what to do with the beans. So I basically put that into a pot, and then added some cheese, and that was going to be like my side.
When I got the basket, I thought it was a lot easier than the last time. When I looked at it, I was like, yes, we got pork chops, something I actually know how to do. So once I did that, I was immediately started getting different ingredients around there. So I got the chicken broth, but I put back down because I didn't think I was gonna incorporate it good, So I got the flour, I got like cayenne pepper, I got salt, regular pepper, and I kind of made a blend with that with the tang. And then I kind of, with the help of the pepper crumbs, I made it into kind of a bean style, home style, and then you would get at like a country house. It was cheesy and it was so delicious. With the pork chops, I made them with a kind of a syrup glaze, so it's gonna have that shine when you're done. And then I put the tang also on there, and used the elder-flour mixture with the dry rub.
3 minutes, chefs, 3 minutes. Back and forth to the pantry. Finally, they're getting back into the pantry. Maybe they can use some fresher ingredients. Again, we're seeing some of the fresh vegetables. We still have tomatoes. We have some carrots. They could use a light salad. I mean, I'm thinking you really want more complexity to the plate when you're given the entree.
Yeah, you want to give color to your plate.
Okay.
Even like some chopped parsley, to sprinkle on top.
Well, and Bonita, when you feed your family at home, you don't want it just to be just meat. You're thinking
Try
of a complete
and get a vegetable in there.
I think the contestants are starting to get a little frazzled with
Yeah.
the amount of time that they have left.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Down to the last minute, chefs.
Well, she said 1 minute left, and I still hadn't even grabbed my plates yet. And I think that's what's killing me most in this competition is my plating.
There's a race to the oven.
You can smell something burning here.
It's burning.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, chefs. Chefs, you're back at the mince line for the entree round. And in this round, you had to use pork chops, instant coffee, maple pancake syrup, tang drink mix, Great Northern beans, and jalapeno-flavored kettle chips. Chef Dean.
So I made a pork chop with a sweet maple glaze over top, and it also has coffee in it.
Good flavor, slightly undercooked on one side, but other than that, good job.
Small portion for an entree. I have a question. Where did you put your tang mix?
My tang mix, I put it on top of the thing on top of the pork chop when I put it in the oven.
This is good. Your glaze is good. Tastes like a caramel sauce.
My pork chop is also slightly undercooked. A little dry where I did taste it through. The glaze I do like. You had to use your ingredients. I don't know that I would have put it on a pork chop necessarily, but the glaze is very good. The beans are just kind of a standard side.
Well, I decided to go more home style this time. I wanted, the kind of the feeling if you went to a country house. So what I did was I made a kind of a home style bean dip. So with that, I put a ton of cheese because everybody likes cheese, I hope. But I put a lot of cheese. I put the tang mix, so it's gonna give it kind of like a citrus flavor to it.
Chef Laurent.
For me, the pork is cooked. Your bean dip here is pretty tasty. Your sauce though, it has like too much of an alcohol flavor.
The lime zest on it really brightened up your dish. Overall, I think it was a little too spicy though.
I think my pork is a little underdone. I do like the flavors. I am a fan of the heat. And I do like your bean dip underneath. Had a really good flavor. Liked the addition of the mushrooms.
Just like Anthony, I tried to go with a little bit more home-style dish. I put the pork chops just in some olive oil. I put some salt and pepper on top. Try to get a good pan sear on them and then put them in the oven to kind of get a little bit more of a bake on them.
My pork chop is done perfectly for me. I love the rosemary, and the addition of the pepper on top is great. I can't see the chips, but I can taste the zing of the jalapeno, so it must be there. And overall, well done.
I like it. I like the whole thing. I think that
dig it and eat the whole thing.
I think the pork chop like is cooked like the way I like it. The beans here, they're perfect. I'm not a big fan of maple syrup, but I think it goes well with it.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire, but you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Oh, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything, dress code optional.
Apparently.
1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
So whose plate will be minced? Chef Dean, you have been minced.
Your pork chop was slightly undercooked, and it was a very small portion for the entree round. The ingredients were doable, just not as good of a presentation as we could have expected.
Nobody wants to eat like an undercooked dish. And it doesn't make me that sad because it's not going to stop me from cooking, and it's just a life experience.
On to round 3, and it's the sweetest deal of them all, dessert round. In their baskets, they have butterscotch chips, cinnamon graham crackers, dried cherries, goat cheese, and rosemary. We have 20 minutes on the clock, chefs, and that time starts right now.
So when I opened the basket, I was pretty happy. I mean, graham crackers. That's a perfect thing for like, a bread or like a kind of like a layered dessert. So as I was thinking about it, and I was like, crap, let's make some whipped cream. Perfect, it's whipped cream. And then, so I got the powdered sugar, the heavy whipping cream, got the mixer, put it all together, and made whipped cream. So now I was like, the butterscotch chips would be like delicious with the whipped cream. So I got a double boiler, and it took about 10 to 15 minutes to get those butterscotch, incorporated. I added a little bit of honey, some heavy whipped cream to that, just to thicken it. And I put that into the original batch of whipped cream, and the next thing you know, it started looking like puke. So I had to restart. So with the juices left over the puke of whipped cream, I kind of dumped it into the new batch of whipped cream. Kind of tasted, I thought it tasted better. Then I added the dried cherries. I added the goat cheese, which was hoping to, give it kind of a more shiny taste to it, or if you guys know what I mean. And I was like, all right, so let's saute some graham crackers. So I sauteed the graham crackers with a little bit of rosemary because that was one of the ingredients. and I burned a few, 3 or 4 of them. I started to realize that maybe if I shouldn't use the butter, then it won't burn. So I kind of just warmed it up and kind of get a little bit toastier.
When I first opened the basket, it didn't seem too out of the ordinary other than the rosemary. And the goat cheese I've never really worked with before, but I wanted to utilize the pantry because I haven't done that in previous rounds. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a pancake and I'll use the butterscotch as like a kind of like a syrup, kind of caramelish, like garnish kind of. I cut up some strawberries from the pantry. I used that for the top of the pancake. I put the cherries inside of the pancake in the cake batter. I let that sit too, that way it would kind of thicken up and get a little bit more airy for a thicker, more breaded pancake.
Chef, what do you want to see out of these kids out there?
Some creativity, and actually, you know, I'm not a dessert person, you know, I'm not good at dessert, so I'm curious to see what they can do with it.
In this round, I'm expecting to see some very well plated dishes.
They've been set up to give us a normal, what you'd expect, a graham cracker crust, you know, a crunch-coated topping, but let's see if they can think outside of the box.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
If you make a good dessert, it might end up on the menu.
Chef just dropped the challenge down.
30 seconds.
The powdered sugar, I wanted to put a little bit on there, so I grabbed a like a strainer kind of thing, a sifter, and then I put too much in at a time and it kind of came out a little fast on all but one plate.
With dessert, you always gotta have a strawberry. If there's no strawberry in dessert, there's no, you know, strawberry flavor, obviously.
10, 9, 8.
Don't forget all your ingredients.
6, 5.
All the ingredients, make it pretty.
2, 1. Hands up, chefs. Time is done.
It's gonna be really close. I couldn't tell you who's gonna get it.
I work in desserts on my job. I work in Evans Street, you know, a fancy end place, and I know kind of the aspect. I know how to decorate, and I know a lot of things that happen with plates is tasting and decorating. I know I have the taste down, but that's the real question, do you?
Here we are at the mince line for that final round. And in your dessert baskets, chefs, you had to use butterscotch chips, cinnamon graham crackers, dried cherries, goat cheese, and rosemary. Chef Anthony, tell us about your dish.
So, everybody when they come to a restaurant looks for the cheapest dessert. So here it is. So, as dessert, I made whipped cream, just a regular whipped cream. And I put butterscotch that was double boiled over it. With that, I put the goat cheese, which is supposed to give it a little bit more volume. I put salt to give it more of a flavor instead of just sweet. I put little diced strawberries, diced cherries, and mixed that all together and made some delicious, wonderful whipped cream. And then with the graham crackers, that's sauteed with rosemary and a little bit of butters to give it, you know, kind of a creamy sensation. And then just a strawberry on the side.
I couldn't taste everything.
Mm-hmm.
All I got was the heavy cream and the sugar. No rosemary or cherry or butterscotch really broke through.
I agree, same. I can't tell what it is.
The flavors were good, you know, on a larger scale. Would have been better.
Chef Evan, you have surprised yourself to be here at the dessert round. Tell these judges about your dish.
I didn't utilize the pantry a whole lot in the previous rounds, so I wanted to really try to create something from scratch from the pantry. So I grabbed the Bisquick and made myself a pancake. I took strawberries for the topping, give it a little bit more color and flavor. I double boiled the butterscotch chips and I put the goat cheese in its separate saucepan on the burner and put a little bit of butter and the rosemary I put in there actually too for a little bit more flavor.
I think it was a good use of all the ingredients. The pancake's a little bit done, but the flavors are there.
There's creativity, you know. Yeah, you think out of the box, so kind of like it.
Definitely got the rosemary and the butterscotch. Not so much the goat cheese and the burning on the bottom. It's kind of off-putting.
Right.
But other than that, I thought it tasted good.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him, and
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Chefs, you are back at the mincing block for your dessert round. And who has been minced? Chef Anthony, you've been minced.
Anthony, you put up a good fight. You came back this year for redemption. In the end, didn't work out so well, but you made it further than you probably thought you would.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulations on that.
He was a good competitor. He was funny. He was kind of trash talking me, I trash talk him back. And I'm definitely going to use this as onto the road, like when I make my own restaurant in the restaurant I work at now.
Chef Evan, you are our champ. How do you feel?
I feel really good. I'm in awe, actually. I didn't expect this, but it just goes to show that when you keep pushing through and try to put out your best, use some creativity, hard work pays off.
Me coming into Culinary last year as a junior, I never really even thought about that I would want to do this. And then I realized, hey, this is something I really like to do. It's like, just try it. You never know. You really never know. It's not just my opinion of the way that I look at the things I make and taste it. It's other people too, and then I might have something here.